Welcome to this episode of Empowered Entrepreneur. So, in today's episode, I want to dive into the fascinating world of personal branding and its critical role in business success. I initially had planned to make this a festive podcast episode where we talked about different tips on maintaining sanity during the holidays and still being festive. But I feel like it's going to be more authentic if I just talk about branding because I'm not feeling festive. I just want to be authentic with you guys. So, defining personal branding. Personal branding is where you yourself represent your company. So, it's bringing the conscientious and intentional efforts of your brand into who you are. A huge example is my hair. I have purple and teal. I have teal and a purple desk. I have two-toned a lot of things in my life, and that's just part of my brand. I can be logistical or I can be inspirational. I can take your ideas and make them into systems that run independently of you, or I can take your idea and make it a reality. So I can see both sides of the coin at the same time. And I think that is what differentiates me from a lot of other people. So branding is very important when you are trying to stand out and be an authority in your industry. I have a master's degree in business management. My undergraduate degree, Bachelor of Arts in Business Management, with an emphasis in organizational leadership. So I have the education, but I also have over 20 years experience as an executive assistant. This separates me from the competition. Just because I'm new to the online space of being an entrepreneur doesn't mean that I don't have any authority. Your experiences in your life form your authority. Your experiences in how you communicate form your authority. Anyone can have authority in their industry. You just have to heave it the right way. So one of the key things is to build your brand story. So it's really important to incorporate storytelling in your personal branding. Like I mentioned, everything that I've gone through, the last 40 years of my life has been leading up to this point. And that is what differentiates me. That is what brings me to inspire others and really be able to focus and put out there the things that I want to put out there, the education, the empowering, the inspiring other female entrepreneurs. So all of that storytelling is something that makes me relatable and approachable. And it's really important that you take time to reflect on who you are, what is your why, and what you want to do and show up, how you want to show up. It's taken me a while to be able to be okay with talking just me. And I've had to program my AI enough where it can give me talking points where I just go with the flow. So you really have to find your sweet spot. And everybody's sweet spot is different. That's the most important part. You have to be authentic in your storytelling, in your personal branding, in your company. You have to show up and show your flaws, but show how you overcome those flaws. to show that you are resilient. Being an entrepreneur is hard, and no one gets it more than other entrepreneurs. There's no competition because when everybody succeeds, we all succeed. In a blog post that's coming out that I just wrote, I talk about how as a service is a new trend that is coming out in 2024. It's really important to be aware that different things that were in a company can now be outsourced. So anyone can be an entrepreneur. You just have to understand what you're good at, where your strengths lie, what opportunities you want to have, and what weaknesses do you need help with. I love interviewing people and asking them what those things are for them, because each one of us is different. And then I can quickly look to see how I can support them in their weakness or in an opportunity that they want to get better at. And when someone tells me their weakness and I see it more as a strength, I'll share that. It's really important to help each other, bring each other up, be focused on emotional well-being and mental health. It is huge. I'm a huge advocate for mental health. Get blood tests done. See how your vitamin D level is. Get blood tests done if you're taking antidepressants or anxiety medication or any other type of medication. See if you're getting what you need with those medications. Your blood work will show that. There's no shame in that. So I want to discuss some strategies for personal branding. So tips for leveraging social media to enhance visibility and connect with the audience. You could start a podcast. It's really easy to start a podcast. But continuing the podcast is where you need a strategy. Continuing to have content to talk about is where you need a strategy. Same with social media. You could be posting and throwing spaghetti at the wall, but you're never going to get anywhere unless there's some purpose behind it. What do you want to share? Pick one thing and talk about that. Focus on one thing for a month so you don't get overwhelmed, and put 110% into that one thing. I'm going to share a little story about myself. When I discovered my niche to be a business coach for female entrepreneurs, that was in May. At the time, I had Mindset Mantra going, a podcast that I no longer do, but that's beside the point. And I also created this podcast, Empowered Entrepreneur. So I took the month of June to record all the episodes for both podcasts up until October. And then I took July to edit all those podcasts and have them scheduled so I didn't have to think about it anymore. Then I took August to start networking locally and made some really great connections. And then September, I decided that Mariposa Sources needed a case study. I'll go on to what a case study is in a second, but a case study to showcase what Mariposa Sources could do. So I started a second business, Empower Her Essentials, and it's focusing on e-commerce. I have an e-commerce store and creating different jewelry. But a case study is where you are able to see theory applied. When we're talking about business terms, there is nothing in business that isn't already done. Now, what is the innovation is where you're taking the different aspects of what has already been done and putting it together in a different way. And that leads to new ideas. And it is so amazing to create new systems, new processes, new ways of thinking. That's why I'm a business muse. So in October, I decided to launch a collaborative project where I teamed up to offer at a low price 2 different items. The first item was a startup success toolkit. I partnered with an accountant, a copywriter, a virtual assistant, and myself with the business system strategies. We created documents for that bundle, specifically for that bundle, that could help people just starting out. Startup success. The second bundle that the 4 of us did was the VIP optimization bundle. That bundle was more for those already established. And again, it was with an accountant, a copywriter, a virtual assistant, and myself, business system strategies. This was meant to help every entrepreneur because every entrepreneur has accounting, has copy, has admin stuff, and has systems. No matter what industry you're in, you have those things. So I wanted to create something that was powerful enough to help everyone. Then I decided to start launching my program, Excel Through Excellence. And it was something that I had started working on last December. And it was really important for me to get it right before I officially announced it. When I first came up with the idea of a signature program, it was facing fear with function. But with more clarity and more experience, I was able to really dive deep and understand that I want people to excel through excellence. And it's just so exciting to help my students really understand the language of business and have it be accessible to them. Excited for the next cohort to start in January. And it's going to be just as powerful as it is right now. And I feel really hopeful that my brand, which is more than just marketing, it's creating a genuine connection with my audience, can really be exposed to a wider group of people. Personal branding is a powerful tool for entrepreneurs to differentiate themselves from personal branding is super important to differentiate. And personal branding is a powerful tool for entrepreneurs to differentiate themselves in a crowded market. And let's face it, online is very crowded. But being consistent and authentic and the storytelling are the pillars of a successful personal branding. You have to think of the pillars, whether they're content pillars or organizational pillars. You need 3 or 4, no more, no less, because you have to think of it as the foundation of who you are, what your business is. You don't see a chair with 2 legs. You see a chair with 4. You see a stool with 3 legs sometimes. A tripod has 3 legs. So that's why you have to choose 3 or 4. No more, no less. So I encourage you as the listeners, to reflect on your personal brand and how it aligns with your business. Leave a comment, leave a review. I would love to connect with you. And remember, personal branding is a journey. It's going to take time and it's not going to happen overnight. So I want to wish everybody a great new year, but remember that you are capable. And if you need any support, book a free call with me. I would love to get to know you.